Are you sick and tired of taking your driver's exam test and just can't pass? There are some key things that you're probably doing that's making you fail that test. Today, we're going to talk about it. Okay, so are you checking your mirrors regularly? It's super important that when you practice, you check your mirrors. But when you're taking your test, you need to over exaggerate the checking. Like, I'm looking, like, I'm letting the driver and instructor know I am looking at all these mirrors. You don't have to like constantly check like every 5 seconds, but maybe every 10 seconds, just give it a little look, give it a little head movement so they'll know that you are checking those mirrors. Check your mirror when you're signaling, like right before you turn your signal on, give your mirror a quick look, turn that blinker on, and then double check. When you are checking your blind spots after you're trying to get over, make sure you do these 3 steps. Number 1, turn on your blinker. Number 2, check your mirror. Number 3, check your blind spot and make it obvious that you are checking that blind spot. Do a good look, like I'm looking, man. All right, so one way you can automatically fail your test is to do a rolling stop or a California roll. That way, when you come up to the stop sign and you're like, got it. But that's not what you're supposed to do. Come to a complete stop. Do not jerk your car right before you stop. Take your foot off the brake a little bit and then press it again. That'll give you a smooth stop when you get there. When you get there, you go 1, 2, 3, left, right, left again, and that'll give you enough time to stop, check your areas, and then go, whether you're going left or right. And make sure when you're using that blinker to turn, you are doing it 100 feet in advance. If you don't know what 100 feet is, get outside and do some measurement. Stop. Make sure you also do 2 stops if you can't see around the corner. First, do your legal stop, then roll up and do a second stop, check your left, right, left again, and then go. That is super important. Another one is when you don't signal properly or you don't go the right way. When the instructor says go left, go left. If the instructor says go right, go right. You only get 2 opportunities to do that. You have got to know your left and your right. So have somebody, whoever's driving with you to practice, get in the car with you and tell them to give you verbal directions. This will also get you used to a GPS, okay? So they'll say, at the next light, we're turning left. And you need to turn on your left blinker and go left. There are so many times that I tell my drivers, go right, and they end up turning on their left blinker. Make sure you don't do that. Signal properly because you are setting your intentions for where you need to go, not just in your own mind, but for the people behind you as well as the people in front of you. Because if you're a good driver, you know what's going on in every area. So remember, check that mirror to make sure you know what's coming up. You need to start practicing driving at certain speeds. So, because you need to start getting that road feel, that feel of the car. So, when you get in the car with your driving instructor or the person that you're driving with, make sure they tell you, okay, on this street it's 25 miles per hour. And then you need to go 25 miles per hour over and over and over so you'll feel what it's like. When you are at a place where you're supposed to be going 55, 55 feels a little bit different going downhill than it does going uphill. You need to practice in all those areas. So when you're riding as the passenger, make sure you feel what it feels like when your driver is going 35, 45, 55, 25. Make sure you are paying attention to what's around you. If you do not have like a way to kind of gauge that, I want you to check out this bingo that I have inside of my bio, and you can go and get that for $4.99. That's all you gotta do is order it, and then you go through this bingo. It has speed limits, it has roundabouts, it has everything you need in order to be successful as a driver so that you are able to pay attention, not just as the driver, but also as the passenger. It would be my suggestion that if you're like 13 through 15, or if you're 13 through 17, you haven't gotten behind the wheel, you haven't started driving, then you need a bingo like this. So make sure you check that out with the link in my bio. Let's get back to the testing. Don't overthink, y'all. Oh my gosh. When you overthink, you start panicking, and then you need to implement that 4-7-8 breathing, where you breathe in for 4, hold for 7, and let out through your mouth for 8. This calms your mind down, it calms your heart down, it gets you focused on something else. You're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, holding for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and letting out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You want to make sure you do this when you get overwhelmed or you start overthinking, because once you start overthinking, especially things like parallel parking, then it gets to be very, very difficult for you to master it, even if you mastered it in practice. So make sure you use your blinker when you are parallel parking, turn on your right blinker to go back into the right, then turn on your left blinker to come out. I also have a video that'll show you how to do parallel parking. I'm gonna go ahead and plug that in right now. Do you have somebody to practice driving with? If not, I've put together a video compilation of all the skills that you need in order to be a successful driver. It's like 20 videos and I'm giving it away for free. So be sure to click the link in my bio and go and pick it up, just to help. You just click the button and it'll give you my favorite parallel parking videos. They are aligned with exactly what you need to do. There's one for using it with cones, the way you'll probably do it on your test, and there's one for doing it in between cars. So when you get out on the real world, because parallel parking driving is not just for the test. We do not need to be teaching to the test. We have to teach for a lifelong skill, because this is a lifelong skill for a lifelong activity. Let me get back to it. Remember when you're parallel parking that you check your mirrors, and as you're exiting, do a quick look back to make sure nobody's coming back, even when you're in the parking lot during the test. Yep, I said it. Pretend like you are on the road in real life when you do that test, and that will help you. Imagine cars can come down. Do a turnaround. That once again shows them that I am exaggerating what I'm doing because I want to make sure you, instructor, see me. Another thing that causes you to fail your test is not yielding the right of way. You must yield the right of way, especially if you have a yield sign. Slow down, look to the left or the right, wherever those people can be coming from, and then proceed. But a yield is not the same as a stop. A yield is a slow down and go if I can, or a slow down, let me see what's coming, let me stop. Okay, so keep that in mind. Make sure you avoid pedestrians in the in the crosswalk, because a lot of times people won't stop for the crosswalk, especially in Georgia. Pedestrians have the right of way, even if they're not in the crosswalk. So make sure you pay attention to that. When you are in doubt, while you're driving, allow the pedestrian to go, allow the other cars to go. It is just safer. Another reason that people may fail, and I talk to my drivers about this all the time, they hesitate. They stop in the middle of the road. You can't do that. When you are making a turn, it's about brake, turn, accelerate. And just because I'm saying brake, that does not mean come to a stop. That means slow down for the speed that you need for the turn. Remember that your right speed for right now is for optimal conditions outside. If the conditions are saying we need to slow down because it's snowing or raining, then you need to do that. Sometimes your test has to be given in those conditions, and you need to adjust your speed accordingly. The speed limit is for just like everything is great. It's a sunny day outside. The road is not slick. That's what speed limit is for. When you need to adjust your speed limit as a driver, that is a time when things are not the way they need to be. So keep that in mind. Do not ignore your blind spots. Y'all, blind spots cause so many accidents. Distracted driving causes so many accidents. When you get in the car to take your test, make sure you check that blind spot. Like I said, when you are changing lanes, when you are turning, when you are veering over, blinker or blinker, mirror, blind spot. If you don't know how to check your blind spot, have somebody get behind your car and walk across. Know your right of way rules in your town. And my last thing is to try to practice the day before your test and the day of your test with driving. Everything that you need is more than likely on your state's DMV or DDS website. So go to that website, find out the things that you need, and practice, practice, practice. That way you won't be as scared when you get there. Practice on the car that you're testing on. Practice on the car that you're testing on, so you'll know how to adjust the mirrors. You'll know how to adjust the side mirrors. You'll know where the seat needs to be. And when you get to your test, all those things will already be ready. You'll just have to check them. Okay, this is good for me. Okay, these are good for me. Oh, this seat is good for me. That way you don't have to make any adjustments. Another thing, do not adjust your car seat while the car is in drive. And that's it, I'm done. Have a good day. Peace. If you practice these things, more than likely you're going to pass that test. So make sure you comment below after you do. Make sure you like, follow and subscribe. And remember to check out the link in my bio and get the free videos as well as the bingo.